Go ahead, Robert. You're clear to go.
Great. Garrett, thank you very much. Robert VIVAR with Unified U.S. Deported Veterans Resource Center and Sergeant Barrios Memorial Chapter 182, Tijuana, Mexico. We just want to say that we appreciate very much being here at the convention. We have participated in different events with Veterans for Peace National, including SOA Watch in Nogales a couple to three times. So it's always a pleasure to be here with our brothers, our sisters. And I just want to give a big thank you to the Deported Veterans Advocacy Project, because without DVAP, we would not exist here in Tijuana. Jan Ruman, George Johnson, Willie Hager, Maurice Martin, and Michael McPherson. Big shout out to you gentlemen for your vision and your support and giving us the opportunity to exist. The logo that Unified U.S. Deported Veterans Resource Center utilizes is very significant to us because, as many of you have seen, it's a soldier carrying another soldier across a fence. And that is very symbolic to us because that is how we feel about our Veterans for Peace brothers and sisters, that with their support, you are coming across the border to help us, to carry us back across that fence, across that wall, back into the country that we were raised in. We also appreciate very much the support that we have received from Veterans for Peace with the coming of the caravan here in Tijuana, Mexico. Veterans for Peace National and San Diego were very supportive in helping us help our migrant refugees that were seeking asylum here at the border. It was very significant to us because a lot of our asylum seekers, a lot of our refugees are due to forced migration from those failed policies that the United States has had in our friends in Central America and all over the world. So we're very much in appreciation also of that effort from Veterans for Peace to give us that opportunity to help our migrant brothers and sisters. I know we have some films here that we would like to view for our friends. So I'm not going to talk anymore because I can go forever. And we're going to ask Garrett if he would kindly show us the first one.
Yes, my name is Hector Lopez Guillen. I was born in Michoacan, Mexico on December 17th, 1963. And my family and I arrived in Madera, California on December of 1967 when I was 3 years old. Prior to my military service, I adjusted really well when we got to America. I had a obsession with apple pie there for a while, but life was just like any normal American. I had friends from every realm you can think of. Life was pretty much good for us because my mother was a business owner. We grew up in my mother was a single mom raising 5 kids. So it was pretty normal at times, but at times we were kind of on our own because my mom was working. So my life was pretty normal, I guess you could say. I was almost 19 years old when I entered the Army Reserves in Fresno, California. The reason I entered the reserves is because my mother wanted me to stay home or be home more often than if I would have taken off regular Army, which I would have been gone. So it was in the Army Reserves in Fresno, California. I mean, after basic training and AIT, it was pretty much a weekend a month for me. So it wasn't really that much of an effect, even though, it was kind of hectic driving to the weekend drills in the fog, in dangerous conditions. But my military life, the 2-week summer camps were okay. Everything was golden with me in the service because it was a weekend a month until my unit was activated during the invasion of Grenada, and that kind of changed everything. And that's where, I'm pretty glad I made it out. Well, because during the invasion of Grenada, our unit was activated. The conflict did not last very long. It was under 2 months. Even though my unit was going to train to get ready to go over there, I didn't get to go to the island of Grenada, which was awesome. And my unit was returned back home to Fresno, California. And that was right at the end of my 6 years. So the reason that I feel very fortunate is because had I accepted the $5,700 that they were giving me to re-enlist for another 6 years, I would have went to, when Iraq invaded Kuwait, I would have gone to the Persian Gulf, because as soon as I got out the very following year when Iraq invaded Kuwait, my unit was activated. And a lot of my friends lost their lives because I could see their names in the paper, KIAs, from the Persian Gulf, from my unit from Fresno, California. So that was a pretty trying time for me because my friends were dying. I would have been over there. I would have been killed because a lot of them, since we're a transportation unit, we were tasked from the planes back to the front lines and stuff. And that's where all the bombs were exploding, improvised devices were exploding in cars and stuff. So that's why I consider myself very fortunate, because a lot of my friends that I served with in Fresno, California, unfortunately were killed during the Persian Gulf. And I was just glad that I didn't make it. But at the same time, I felt bad because, I lost some friends to a combat a war that, we couldn't understand why we were there. But nevertheless, I wish more of them would have survived, because that would have made it better. But, well, for me, it was really not that hard. But just knowing that my service was over was kind of felt like a big relief. But at the same time, when I started seeing the newspaper and my unit being activated, it was kind of really weird, because I was mourning my friends and I felt bad for my friends. And then I started losing track of reality, so to speak. And so it took me a while to adjust back and to trying to live a normal life as best I could. But eventually, since my mom owned the bar, it was relatively easy to get alcohol. So I tried to drown my sorrows, trying to cope as best I could by drinking. And drinking led to drug use, marijuana, cocaine. And so it was a very trying time, and it took me a while. Oh, hell, shit, I don't think I ever adjusted from that. But losing all my friends that I had served with for the past 6 years was really, really hard for me to take, because those are my friends, and it could have been me. So, it's still hard to try to figure out that if I would have went, would I have made it? Would I have come home, or would I have, been killed over there? So sometimes it seems like it's never ending, but I cope as best I can. Having the easy ability for alcohol and having my family being, selling marijuana, the drugs and alcohol became relatively easy to get. And, before I knew it, I had a DUI, and then I got caught with a possession of marijuana. And then and then somebody set me up to sell some marijuana. So that's when I got, that's what led to my deportation, even though I fought it because my lawyer kept telling me that because I'm a veteran, that I wouldn't be deported. Well, I know now that it was a ploy to get more money out of me, but you know, so that's what really gave me the inclination to fight, because I'm a veteran. How are you going to deport me? But after all that money, I still got deported. So nevertheless, it was the easy accessibility to alcohol and to drugs is what led me to be deported for drug possession. Well, when I first got deported, I actually started looking for deported veterans that were in my position, not only deported veterans. And then I started telling them that I was deported, and before I knew it, I started finding veterans that were deported. And I found one veteran in particular, and his name happened to be the same as mine, and he was living in the States. I went back illegally. So when we found him, we started communicating, and then we started realizing that there was a lot more veterans that were or in deportation proceedings or had been deported. So we came up with the conclusion that we had to fight this no matter what, and that started the beginning of this fight to bring home not only me but all deported veterans. As veterans of the United States Armed Forces, I don't think we deserve this deportation. Whether yes, we broke the law, but so do all the veterans, and I don't think it's right for them to give us a double punishment after we served our country honorably. I just don't think it's fair that veterans are being deported, and that started the fight, and now we're still in the fight. We're in the fight of our lives with the U.S. government. We have been for the last 13 years, and hopefully it comes to an end real soon, because I don't know, it's getting pretty hard to keep putting up with one delay after another. After you've been through, we've been through the Fort Hood shootings, we've been through everything that you can think of right before Veterans Day. When we want to say something, that something always happens, and we're just going to keep fighting and keep pushing by calling our congressmen and senators and making sure then that we need our friends and supporters to help us, calling your congressman and senator and telling them that deported veterans is wrong and they should come home. And that's what we're doing. Sadly enough, all my family is in the United States, my immediate family. I do have some second and third cousins that still live in Michoacan, and but they don't want me to go over there because it's too dangerous over there, especially me, because I'm Americanized, and Michoacan apparently is gone back to the cave ages or ice age or something, because they seem to not like Americanized people, but or Mexicans, but. I mean, Michoacan is hard, but you know, even though I do have some family there, I don't want to go there. I'd rather be here in Tijuana, because all my family is in Madera, California, the majority. My kids are there, my brother and sisters, my mom. My dad sadly passed away, but is buried in Madera. So yes, all my family, all my ties are in Madera, California, and that's where I want to be. Yes, I would like to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for all your support throughout these years. We know it's been an uphill battle since when we started, and I just want to say thank you. We really need your support, and we're really glad that we have the support of Veterans for Peace, because this fight's not over. Black Lives Matter because all lives matter. And as a veteran of the United States Armed Forces, I would like to say that, you know, I thought I was doing my service for my country, and that's how I would like to be remembered, as somebody that, you know, yes, I served 6 years honorably. Majority of people don't serve. And I would like to say to all the veterans out there, we appreciate your support. And All we want is what's right for me. If I'm eligible to get my benefits and I'm eligible to be buried in the United States of America, hell, I should be able to live there. So thank you very much for your support. Call your congressman and senator. Say something. This is wrong and we should be home. Thank you.
Well, first of all, my name's Jose Alanis Amaru. My dad took us to the U.S. when I was 6 years old, and basically, lived all my life in the United States. Been here about 6-7 years already. When I was a senior high school, I went and took the ASVAB, joined the Marine Corps. And once I got out of high school, I went to boot camp in San Diego. I graduated there, did my 4 years of service and 4 years of reserve. I volunteered for the Gulf War in 1990, but that ended so quickly that that was pretty much my Super Bowl, that's what I joined the Marine Corps for, to serve and protect the country. And when it ended, well, I decided to just get out. Pretty basic. I mean, pretty, young kid. There's 12 of us, I have 7 sisters and 4 brothers. So it was pretty basic. Nothing out of the ordinary. Used to ride my bike. Go to school. So one of the things that I think that pushed me to the Marine Corps was, my sister, when I was like 10 or 11 years old, she got some information from a recruiter with stickers, and, she told me a little bit of information about the Marines. I was like, I thought that would be pretty cool to do. I was a machine gunner with the M60. Got several meritorious masks for having my guns equipped as a team leader. Some of the fastest guns, some of the most accurate guns. Went to Camp Pendleton for a competition where different companies, and we came in second, and I believe only because the day before I took my team to celebrate and I got arrested. And so somebody else had to step in, and they weren't really prepared. But it was pretty, I guess the transition wasn't that bad because I lived in a military town. I stayed in Oceanside, worked in Carlsbad for Sears, and my second job was Domino's. So, I was in and out of the base. So, the interaction was still there with the military. So it wasn't like a big change because I believe, it was being that I was so close to the military. I still felt part of that, part of that family. And if I understood you correctly, part of it was I had 3 DUIs in California. So, alcohol was so much part of me as well. And, when I moved to Texas, I was pretty much, my back was against the wall. My house, Hurricane Ike had just come through. My house was all torn up, and I had basically the best option for me regarding the totality of all the circumstances. My best option was to plead guilty, fix my house, take care of my family. But that didn't work out because probation, they violated that, and I was never not once told that, deportation was a probability. Pretty much everything has been related to alcohol.
Right. So actually the drinking problem was already, since you were already in the military.
That was part of the, I think part of the ritual. You get off work, you work, you're up for reveille, at 6 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. You do your job, you're off by 6 or 7, and the ritual was, let's go get some beer and.
Right, and I fully understand that, Jose, because that is something that we see has been part of the culture of military life, which once you leave the military transcends into civilian life, causing those legal issues. And in the case of a non-citizen veteran, is a cause for deportation, which is very unjust. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your fight to regain your legal residence or citizenship of the United States? Is there anything in particular that you have been doing in that aspect or that you are working on doing?
Well, actually, I tried to do my citizenship back in 1996. I believe that's about the time. I was on probation for a DUI, and they said, well, basically all I had to do was swear in. That was it. That was the last, everything was completed. But the agent, they said, no, you have to start all over. I didn't know that I could appeal it. And I felt, well, okay, I have an honorable discharge. The only thing that I can't do is vote. And I'm not too fond of, politics. So, I just kept my residency like that. But as far as now, it's been maybe a couple months since I met, your group. And I was like, well, there's some veterans that are becoming citizens. So I figured, I start the process and, what can I lose? I mean, actually, all my family is in the U.S. I'm the only one out here. All my brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts, everybody's either in El Paso, Texas, Tennessee, California. So basically, I'm the only one here in Mexico.
Okay.
Well, just appreciate that you guys are, that you guys are supporting us. And my hope is that one day I can return back to the U.S., hopefully alive, not like, they give you military honors once you passed away. That doesn't do any help, any good, especially for my children that I haven't seen, for 6-7 years. My mom, my dad. So do appreciate that you guys are out there, supporting us, and hope, just have faith that one day I can go home.
Great. Thank you very much, Jose. I'm going to stop the recording now, and then we can chat a little bit.
Okay.
May I have your name?
My name is Mario Rodriguez,
What branch of service did you serve?
U.S. Army.
And did you serve in any combat?
Yes, I served in Vietnam, 1970.
Were you awarded any honors during your service?
Yes,
What awards were you given?
2 Bronze Stars.
Do you have any disabilities?
I'm getting a pension for old age.
Are you also having any disabilities or exams for pension and compensation?
Yes, I have.
How much time did you serve in detention before your deportation?
Like 7 years, 8 months,
And when were you deported?
2005.
And do you have any family left in the United States?
Yes, I left some family in the United States, my wife and kids.
Thank you, Mario. Can you tell us your name, place of birth, and your age, please?
My name's Alex Murillo Bernal. I was born in Nogales, Mexico. I am 40 years old, and I'm from Phoenix. I was raised in Phoenix, Arizona.
How old were you when you were taken to the U.S., Alex?
I was a baby. I was maybe 1 year old. All my earliest memories are being a kid in the U.S. in Phoenix.
Okay. And Alex, can you tell us what your life was like growing up in Phoenix before you entered the military?
Yeah, well, I grew up like any normal kid in America, middle class, lower middle class kid in the inner city, playing sports, basketball, football, baseball, and just having fun with my friends, and just growing up like an American kid. And I joined the military right out of high school.
Okay. And how old were you when you joined the military right out of high school, and what branch?
I was 18 years old. I joined the U.S. Navy. I was stationed in NAS Jacksonville, Florida, and I was attached to the USS George Washington, and my squadron was VS-32.
And what was life like in the military, in the Navy?
Well, as a young kid in the military, the life is exciting. It's rough. It's hard. It's a change of life. There's a lot of discipline, a lot of heartache, being away from home. My best memories and some of my worst memories are from the military, and that's just part of life.
Great. And what was life like when you left the military, going back to civilian life?
It was difficult for me, like many other soldiers. The transition from being a soldier, from military life to civilian life is a hard one, and I didn't have the help to make that transition like a lot of veterans, and I had a rough time transitioning from military life to regular civilian life.
And that brought legal consequences that got you deported?
Yes. I was self-medicating a lot, and I left the military with alcoholism, alcohol abuse problems, issues, and self-medication issues, and I did get in trouble for cannabis, and I did my time, and that's what I was deported for. It's a non-violent offense.
And Alex, can you tell us what's life been like for you, living in a country where you practically don't know because you were taken from here at a very early age? What has life been like for you?
It was difficult. The change of culture. It's a culture shock from the U.S. to coming back to Mexico, a country that I did not know, only that I was born here. I had to relearn the language, Spanish, but thankfully I've been one of the lucky ones that I have support from my family, and we have a support group here of veterans. We are unified, and I raise awareness for our fight, for our cause to bring our deported soldiers back home. We should be back home, and in the meantime, I'm here in TJ with everything I got. I'm coaching football at the high school. I coach and train basketball for the high school girls, and football for girls as well. And I raise awareness for our cause, and I just keep fighting. To get back home.
And how about family? Do you have any family left back in the U.S.? Tell us a little bit about your family back home.
All my family is mostly in the U.S. All my family immigrated to the U.S. a long time ago. I do have my son living with me right now at this time. I'm very thankful to be able to spend the time with him. He was homeless in Phoenix for quite some time. I was able to locate him. My other son was living with me, but he went back home. I was able to spend a good amount of time with my sons and bring them hopefully something that they can use because they both had issues when I was deported, and they both had issues ever since our family has been separated by deportation. Issues with drug abuse, issues with homelessness, and other issues with just being out in the street without a father because of deportation.
Anything else you would like to say, Alex?
Well, I mean, to anybody watching this, to people back home in the U.S., just know and recognize us as your soldiers. We are still out here fighting a fight. Our battle is to come back home, and if America really loves its soldiers like you say you do, like we say we do, then bring us back home. We are your U.S. soldiers, and we deserve to be back home. And that's it.
Thank you, Alex. Can I have your name and your place of birth, please?
My name is Rocky Hernandez, Perez, Coahuila.
And Rocky, how old were you when you were taken to the U.S.?
I was 6 months old.
Rocky, can you tell us a little bit about your life in the U.S., where you grew up, and what it was like to grow up there in the U.S.?
Actually, I grew up all over the United States, due to the fact because of my family, I grew up all over the United States. It was okay. It was not too bad because I was young, so I was just adventurous as far as my family goes, you know.
Cool. And Rock, how old were you when you entered the military, and what branch of service?
I entered, let me see, I think it was 78 or 78, yeah, 77, 78, 79 in Army. Yes, Army, U.S. Army.
And what was military life like for you?
To me, military gave me a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge as far as survival, physically and mentally. Gave me a lot of opportunities to move up in the world, which I didn't have. You know, gave me a lot of knowledge, and I appreciated that. You know, and even though I didn't want to be there, but I did because I was ordered by court to go there, you know, at that time.
Okay. And Rock, when you got out of the military, what was civilian life like once you left the military? When
I got out of the military, I didn't have, I always had a direction in life, but specifically, in a sense, I got involved with a friend that had a business, and he told me that, you know what, I think you qualified, and you looked at the issue that you could be somebody. Why don't you go to barber college and be a hairstylist and stuff, because you got that quality, you know? So when I got out of there, as a matter of fact, before I even went to talk to my friend there, I went to a college, a junior college, as far as like business law. I was got into business law as far as, because the military is going to pay for it. So I says, okay, I can take any kind of field. But since I was, my school it was good, but it got to be too much for me because of the fact that I was a musician and I was touring a lot. And it took a lot of my time. Touring took a lot of my time. So I couldn't be there that much. So I just said, well, I just quit. I just quit college At that time, being I was into the field of business law, so I just quit that. But when I met this friend, I said, well, since you're not going to college for that, why don't you just cut hair, and you can do whatever you want. I said, okay. I said, well, not really, because I didn't even know how to cut my own hair or comb my own hair. Why should I even deal with that, you know? So I said, finally I said, you know what, man, I did deal with that. And I said, I'll go with it. And I got the tuition changed over to a barber college. And so I graduated. I went to California, state of Sacramento, got my license to be a barber. But I liked it, so I furthered my education as far as, like, I just didn't want to be a barber. I just wanted to go farther ahead as far as hair goes. So I started taking different advanced classes as far as what hair grows and what can I do. So I started going different directions as far as that goes.
So you didn't really have any problems integrating into civilian life after the military?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay.
Due to the fact that, you know, because it's the military. Plus, you know, I had a good family, you know, my family. Plus, it's not that I asked my family for. Military helped me a lot, which is okay.
Great. And can you tell us a little bit about what happened that you started to get into some legal issues that got you deported?
Well, since I already got my own business, you know, as far as like, I already graduated and everything. As soon as I graduated, I got my own business, you know. And I had about 4 or 5 people working for me, and I thought it was top of the line people, you know, and I was making a lot of money. So I started drinking, you know, and even though in my shop I started drinking, you know, and I used to do a lot of drinking and driving all this time, you know, and that's what caused my deportation, because of drinking and driving, high-speed chase, you know, on a freeway. So, you know, it got me involved as far as like the police, you know, I got in a fight with them. I would get in a fight because of the fact that I would get me drunk or under the influence of intoxication.
Right, I understand. And Rock, what about your struggle, your fight to get back home? Anything going on in that part?
Well, right now, the fact is that you know, I'm waiting upon what's going on. I have an attorney that's working on this, you know, and you know what? Patient. You have to be patient when this issue comes about, because it doesn't just work just because you put an application is going to take you over there, you know. It doesn't work that way. You have to be patient, you know. And right now, I'm working and stuff like that, so it's okay, you know. They're working on my case. I have a person that's working on my case, so, you know, I'm patient. I'm looking forward. Whatever happens, happens. If it don't, it does. That is. That's what it is.
Rock, last question. Any family left behind in the U.S.?
Well, I have brothers and sisters. You know, they don't live in the United States, in Mexico. All of them, all my family lives in the United States. All my family, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, and cousins and everything. You know, that's where they live. You know, I'm the only one in Mexico right now that was deported.
All right. Thank you, Rock.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Frank de la Cruz. I served in the United States Navy for 4 years and 3 years Army National Guard. I am a deported veteran. I miss my children, and I just want to tell them that I love them. And hopefully one day we'll be together. And it just breaks my heart. My daughter's name is Michelle, Francis, and Andrew de la Cruz. They live in the United States. I live in Mexico, and I haven't seen them in years. So I just want to say that I love them. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Robert VIVAR. I'm co-director of Unified U.S. Deported Veterans Resource Center and also of Sergeant Barrios Memorial Chapter 182, Baja, Mexico. I'm not a veteran. I'm what some people call a Blue Star father. My son is currently serving active duty with the California Air National Guard. My grandson is also serving in the United States Marine Corps. Got an older brother that was a Vietnam combat veteran with the 11th Armored Black Horse Unit. Another veteran brother that passed away, he was also serving in the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War era. He served in Germany. My partner's son is also a veteran, Marine Corps Iraqi two-tour combat veteran, Purple Heart recipient. So even though I'm not a veteran, military family is my family, and as such, my care for our military family is caring for my own family. And that's why for the past 6.5 years, I've been involved in one way or another helping and supporting our deported veterans here in Tijuana, Mexico. Our office is located approximately 50 yards from the pedestrian West International Border Crossing, which is also the deportation area where people are deported through. That's why our office is strategically located approximately 50 yards from the border crossing. Our mission is to intercept our veterans that are being deported and offer them an opportunity to become productive members of our community here in Tijuana. Our second part of the mission is to also assist them in looking for legal avenues that may be available to be able to return home legally one day to their loved ones. You know, when veterans get deported just like anybody else, they're deported with just a shirt off their back. Many of them have no family left in Mexico. They don't know Mexico because they left at a very early age. So they can very easily fall into a depression, anxiety, on top of their already depression and anxiety and perhaps PTSD, TBI ailments that they may have acquired during the course of their military service. That's why it's very important for us to try to intercept them and assist them in offering an assistance to be able to incorporate as productive residents. Part of the benefits that we assist our veterans obtaining is their pension and compensation benefits, along with age benefits, and also with their appeals. We're very fortunate that we have an accredited agent, Dr. Rudy Melson, who has been very successful in helping us to obtain the benefits our veterans rightfully deserve. We're very pleased with Dr. Melson because not only has he been very effective with our deported veterans, but also with veterans that are expats that live here in Mexico and some that even live in the U.S. in obtaining their benefits, and on many occasions, winning appeals for them so they may be afforded the adequate compensation that they deserve. We also help them with their legal issues. We have partnered off with CalVets, Department of Veterans Affairs for the state of California. We also work with Public Counsel, which is a not-profit that is partnered off with CalVets, also with the ACLU, and many other law firms that are dedicated to assist veterans. At the moment, we are creating a listserv or law clinics from different universities that can help us in providing adequate legal services to our deported veterans and veterans that may be in deportation proceedings. At the moment, we have 12 different universities that we are partnering off. This is a project that was initiated by a good friend, Eric, out at the University of Michigan. And through his efforts, we've been able to acquire the services of other law clinics that are joining in this effort to assist our deported veterans, all the way from the University of Illinois, University of Maine, University of California at Irvine, and even University of Southern California. But we definitely are going to continue to look to extend this network of veteran legal clinics, because our veterans come from all the different states of the United States. And as each state has particular laws that apply, it is very important that we have access to legal services at every one of those states to be able to provide our veterans the legal assistance that they need. I want to talk a little bit now about some of the causes that our veterans have been deported. When you enter the military, you're taught to be aggressive, you're taught to be violent, you're taught to kill. And many of you have been asked to go kill at a foreign country. And in the process, you watched your buddies cut down right in front of you, sometimes even that buddy that helped you through basic training. And when you exit the military, you struggle with integrating back into society. When you left for basic training, usually you were, a good, wholesome kid, 17, 18 years old, very, you can say, naive. You were reprogrammed to be violent. When you exited the military, did you receive any kind of assistance or treatment or workshops to help you de-escalate this aggressive behavior? Chances are you didn't. The difference is that you being a citizen veteran, when you try to integrate back into the community, if you had trouble and you got in trouble with the law, like many veterans do, you paid your time, you did your time, you paid your fines, and you were back home. Many of you even had the opportunity to go through veterans clinics to get assistance for whatever it was that caused your behavior. Unfortunately, for non-citizen veterans, that's not the case. Most of them never had a chance to go through veteran court or have the opportunity of accessing veterans court to go through a program. Instead, they paid for their crime, they did their time, they paid their fines, but then they were also subjected to double jeopardy, paying twice for the same mistake. Paying twice because on top of doing their time, paying their fines, their legal permanent residence was revoked. And then, as if that was not enough, a third time, deported to the country they were born in, which is actually a foreign country to them now, because they left at a very young age. They don't know that country they've been deported to anymore. Exiled from the country you were willing to give your life for, exiled from your treasure, which is your family, your kids, your spouse, your wife, your parents, your siblings, all your family. All your life is torn apart. That in itself can be quite traumatic. And on top of that, you add the horrors of war, the horrors of military service that you were exposed to. That makes it for a very difficult situation for you to be deported without any assistance. That's why it's very important that our office here exists. And we wouldn't be able to exist if it wasn't for the support of Veterans for Peace and the vision of some incredible friends, a Deported Veterans Advocacy Project, Jan Ruman, George Johnson, Willie Haggard, Maurice Martin, and our former executive director, Michael McPherson. Without these gentlemen, our office would not exist. We would not be fighting to help our veterans be repatriated. There is a solution to this, which some people may think it's a long shot, but as the Marine motto states, leave no one behind. And that's the way we feel about Veterans for Peace, in the way that they've been helping and supporting the plight of deported veterans. And what I'm talking about, an easy solution, which maybe not that easy, but it can be, and that's to pass legislation, HR 5151, honoring the Oath Act of 2019, introduced into Congress by Chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee, Congressman Mark Takano. In the beginning of this piece of legislation, it states, 8 U.S.C. Code 1101 Alpha 22, that when a veteran takes the oath of enlistment, he is demonstrating his loyalty and allegiance to the United States, and therefore should be considered a national, if not a citizen of the United States, and therefore should not be subjected to fall under jurisdiction of Homeland Security to be removed from the country they swore to defend. What we would like to do, and this is a project that, again, Veterans as Peace, part of Veteran Advocacy Project has taken on, is to create a resolution, an amendment to 8 U.S.C. Code 1101 Alpha 22, which even though HR 5151 does not specify, but we do want to support HR 5151 and also continue to negotiate with Chairman Takano's office so that the legislation could be amended and reflect in clear language that the moment the person took the oath of enlistment, at that point they did prove their loyalty, they did prove their allegiance to the United States, and they were being regarded as a U.S. national, if not a citizen. We would also like clarification that those veterans that have been deported can be repatriated retroactively. That is the solution. Executive orders have been issued in the past indicating that those that served during wartime were entitled to citizenship, but you still have to go through a process that the military did not make very accessible to our veterans. We have many veterans that even went forward through the process of applying for citizenship and never finished their complete process because they were deployed and their command never forwarded their interview data for them to fulfill their interviews. In other words, their command dropped the ball and they were not able to fulfill their obligation of interview for citizenship. Therefore, we ask you to continue your support for our deported veterans. Call your congressperson, your senator, urge them to co-sponsor HR 5151. Call your senators, urge them to pursue with their colleagues in Congress to pass HR 5151 and to clearly clarify that when a veteran took the oath of enlistment, at that moment, he's considered a national, if not a citizen, and make this retroactive to our veterans that have been deported. I want to thank you for the opportunity of being here today with you. On behalf of Unified U.S.Deported Veterans Resource Center and Veterans for Peace, Sergeant Barrios Memorial Chapter 183, we thank you very much, Veterans for Peace, for your support. We hope that you continue to support us and look forward to coming home one day. Thank you. God bless you.
Welcome back on, Robert and Hector. If you want to turn on your mics and cameras. I see you saw we've got some Q&A questions lined up. Robert, you're happy to go through those, and if y'all want to answer some of those, you're welcome to. We've got plenty of time.
Sure. Okay, let's see here. Kathleen Hernandez, our friend from VFP Los Angeles, is asking, how have you all continued with service in Tijuana shelters, support for each other, advocacy for U.S. policies? How is the telephone center a place of employment and service? Yes, we do continue with our support of the shelters. It is a little bit limited right now because of the COVID issue, and we don't have as many supporters being able to come across with donations to help the shelters. But we are still doing somewhat of a job with it. Our good friends at the San Diego League of Women's Voters have been providing us with face covers for the shelters. They have provided several hundred face covers for children that we can distribute, protect our little ones. In regards to employment, telephone center, call centers, they're still employed, but the majority of them are employing people to call from home. However, there is a new project through another organization that I am now collaborating with. We have a program called Via Cafe that it's a Spanish language program to create friendship and bridge from our two communities across the border. But also we have a program within it, which is called Charlamigos. It's like a virtual pen pal. And we're excited about this because what we're doing is we're using people that are in the shelters to be Spanish tutors. So you can purchase a 30-minute tutor session with one of our tutors here in Mexico. And we can line you up so that that tutor is somebody that's in one of the shelters or somebody that's deported. That way it helps them, gives them an opportunity to earn a little bit of money. And at the same time, it keeps us connected. It gives the student an opportunity to learn from other cultures, practice the Spanish. It's a way to help out, to continue to help out our migrant community. Let's see, we have a couple other okay, got a question here from Fabiola and Cesar. It says, what kind of support are the Unified Deported Veterans from Tijuana to support the effort of Manuel Valenzuela and myself on our pursuit of an executive order to bring deported veterans home? That's a very good question. As a matter of fact, there's an executive order that was signed by President Bush, Executive Order 13269, July 3rd, 2002. And unfortunately, the executive order was not really clear. It still indicated that you had to qualify, that you had to apply, pardon me, in order to receive receive that nationality, that citizenship. You know, that was President Bush. I know there was a similar request that was presented in the Obama administration through Nathan Fletcher, a great veteran supporter here out of San Diego. And that didn't get anywhere. We'd be happy to support any request to present a new executive order. At this time, we don't know with the present president and his racist and hate tactics and rhetoric, if that would be able to gain any support. But our office is there to support any movement that is going to go to further our repatriating of our deported veterans. Let's see here. I think we have another question. I was thinking maybe I could contact officials in my state to get them to advocate for deported veterans who are here from. How can I find out about deported veterans from New Mexico? Thank you. And that's Greg C. from New Mexico. Greg, what you can do, and anybody can do, is you can contact us at Unified U.S. Deported Veterans Resource Center. We have a website, USDEPVETS, and we can go through our database to locate any veterans that may have been deported from the New Mexico area. I know one of our veterans that is in Las Vegas lived in New Mexico for a period of time. That is somebody that you can definitely contact. As a matter of fact, I believe that he recently received the governor's pardon from the governor of New Mexico. We definitely know that there's a champion there in the state government that is in full support of deported veterans. Okay, I have another question from anonymous attendee. It says, Robert, can you explain how your unified group intercepts deported veterans? Does the VA offer mental health services that they do with legal services for veterans? One of the ways that well, a couple of different ways that we intercept veterans. Number one is, of course, from word of mouth. Number two, we have friends with organizations that do visitation of detention centers. And through them, we've been able to be put in contact with veterans that were in detention about to be deported. The other way we intercept them is that because we are right at the border, when they are deported, on occasions like Rocky that you've seen on one of the videos, that happened to walk by right in front of our office. And let's see here, we have another question. Please talk about DVAP helping asylum seekers with food and water. I'm gonna ask Hector, my partner there, if he wants to respond to that question. That way we can give him an opportunity also.
Yes, my video's turned off, but my mic is on. So yes, we are helping the shelters here in the Tijuana area with, we particularly are helping 2 shelters with their water systems right now. We currently pay the water for Embajadores de Jesus, which is the largest shelter here in the Tijuana area. And because of the pandemic, we're kind of stalled out right now on installing water purification systems that we wanted to install, that our friends from the Iraqi Water Project were helping us come together with. But since the pandemic hit, we're kind of stalled right now. But we're looking forward to the day where we can ramp everything back up and help those people have clean drinking water. Our mission doesn't stop there with just water. We're actually facilitators of the donations that come to the border because we're so close. We're strategically placed here at the border. So friends and supporters reach out to us and ask us to facilitate donations that they otherwise couldn't be able to make. So that's mainly what we're doing on that end. We think that all lives matter, so we're here to help anybody that needs help. Our main focus, of course, is helping our deported veterans and helping our office here get the support that we need to keep moving forward. Because without your support, we're especially during the pandemic, we're kind of at a loss here because that we're at a border and it's really hard to dictate anything because we don't know what's going to happen. The border's open one day, closed the next day. Everybody thinks the border's closed, but it's not really closed, only to essential travel. So a lot of people they took that as the border's closed. So we're We know that it's not closed to essential travel, and we think feeding people and clothing immigrants is actually essential for us as human beings. We're here, we're humans first, and Democrats and Republicans later. And we hope we can continue our mission here in Tijuana. And we hope we can, even after we go home, we still want to help here because there's the need for help here in Tijuana is so big and so large. And you know, actually the needs outweigh the supply right now. And that's really the problem, that there's not a lot of stuff, a lot of donations, food, clothing, etc., money being sent across the border to right now because of this pandemic. So we're hoping this pandemic doesn't last very long. Thank you.
Thank you, Hector. Got another question from anonymous attendee. Says, have you thought, or do you have in the Veterans Court system any advocates? I'm a volunteer mentor with the Veterans Drug Court in St. Louis and have been for 4 years. I'm astonished that this service was not offered to you before deportation. At this time, we don't really have any advocates in any of the drug courts. So we definitely would welcome your support. That is something that we would love to establish, is a good relationship with drug courts in different locations. Unfortunately, our veterans, by the time that they even realize that there is drug court, many of them by then have already gone through the police stages, and they're practically on their way to immigration detention for deportation. Part of what we're doing is creating this listserv that is called through our ally there at the University of Michigan Veteran Law Clinic, is to establish a database with not only law firms, but law clinics from some of the different universities, like the ones that we mentioned earlier. And we definitely would very much welcome any opportunity to have contact and establish a network with some of the different drug court advocates. That is one of the answers to preventing the deportation of our veterans. You know, we have many veterans that have been deported, but there's many more that could face that possibility. And if we're better prepared to be able to direct them through drug court programs, then we have a much better opportunity of not having them removed. However, you know, again, HR 5151, if we can get that passed and clarified, that would solve our deportation of veterans immediately. Let's see here. We have another question from Leonard. And Leonard asked, did some of these deported vets' families in the U.S. get their citizenship, and how difficult was it to obtain? Well, let's see. Okay. Yeah, and how was it difficult to obtain? A lot of the vets' families are U.S. citizens. For example, the children are all U.S. citizen. Most of them are U.S. citizen children. Parents, more than likely, were legal permanent residents when they entered the United States. They had some kind of a legal status, more than likely legal permanent resident, or after they entered the United States, shortly after they gained legal status and had a legal permanent residence. But in the majority of the cases of our deported veterans, their children, their parents, siblings are all United States citizens. And let me see, I think we had a couple other questions here. Okay, very important question. Were any of the deported veterans promised citizenship? Absolutely. Now, many of the veterans that have been deported were told by the recruiters that by enlisting in the military, they would become citizens. They were never even mentioned that there was a process they needed to follow. But the important thing to know is that many of our veterans that have been deported actually applied for citizenship during their active duty days. And for one reason or other, were not able to complete that citizenship process. One veteran in particular, Sergeant Felipe Perez, had gone through 2 interviews. When his final interview was to take place, he was stationed in Japan. He never received a notification of his citizenship interview. So he assumed that he was that he had become a U.S. citizen since he never heard back after the 2 interviews. Later on, he finally found out that that was not the case. When he tried to change his MOS, he wanted to be an embassy guard, and he was denied the job of an embassy guard because they stated he was not a U.S. citizen. And he thought for sure that he was. That, of course, did not go very well with him. So when he finished his 4-year commitment, he decided not to re-enlist. He was done. He felt betrayed. I don't see any more questions if we should have any more out there.
Robert, Hector, you guys have any closing statements you want to make? We still have about 15 minutes if you want to use it. Of course, you don't have to if you don't need to. We're going to have a full, at least an hour discussion later. That'll be a Zoom meeting that everybody can participate in, and you're free to answer more questions there. Sure.
Thank you, Garrett. There is just one thing that I would like to mention. Unified U.S. Deported Veterans Resource Center and Sergeant Barrios Memorial Chapter 182 are also very active in, of course, in our migrant community and also in our border church at Friendship Park, where the Deported Veteran mural is located. And right now, one of the other organizations that we collaborate with, along with Border Church, Friends of Friendship Park, we're coming forth with a campaign to counter President Trump's "Build the Wall," and we're countering it, asking Joe Biden to say, "Build that park." Building the wall would destroy our veteran mural that exists there at Friendship Park. So we definitely would try to discourage that. But more so, the effect of the wall in separating our families. Friendship Park is a place where families can gather, where many of our veterans have been able to visit with their family members on the U.S. side, where we've held ceremonies for fallen veterans. So it's a very important place to us. And we would definitely also appreciate your support to go to www.buildthatpark and sign the petition. We want to ask Joe Biden to counter Trump's narrative of build the wall, to build the park. And Hector, if you'd like to.
I'd just like to answer Doug's question on the water needs being met. Yes, we do still need assistance from VFP out here for our water mission for the various shelters that we're helping out here. The problem was the first one we installed was kind of too small for the place, and we're at a standstill right now. So we still do need your help, and we are very thankful for all the help we've gotten to be able to be put in a position to help these shelters with clean, purified drinking water. It's a big mission that we took on, starting way back from Mr. Jerry Condon, when we took him to visit the largest shelter here in the Tijuana area. And when that commitment was made, we're standing by it, and we're committed to helping the shelters with their drinking water needs. So yes, please, if you can donate at veteransforpeace.org, put it to the Deported Veterans Advocacy Project, and we will keep continuing to help these people that man, sometimes when you just see them, when they see us coming because they know we're gonna bring them water, it's such an awesome feeling to see that, to see the people happy because finally they're gonna get some water. It's sad to think that, what if it was me? What if I was there just waiting for water? What, you know, so that instills in us a desire to keep helping our immigrant community here in the Tijuana area. And so thank you very much for all your donations to the Deported Veterans Advocacy Project. And we, one way or another, our mission is not going to stop while we're here. And when and if we are allowed to go home, we will look for some type of way to continue the mission to provide clean, purified drinking water to the shelters here in the Tijuana area. So thank you very much to all our friends and supporters that have supported us and helped us along the way. And we hope we can count on your continued support. And I want to say thank you very much to everybody at Vets for Peace, Mr. Rappenhagen, Willie Hager, Jan Ruman, George Johnson, Maurice Martin, the Mike Tort. You know, there's a lot of names that I don't want to forget, but I want you to know that we're holding all of you in our prayers, and we want to say thank you very much to all the men from Veterans for Peace that were willing to cross that border and come over here and see for themselves what the needs were and to help us try to fill that need. So thank you very much from all of us here in Tijuana, because without your support, we really couldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you very much.
Garrett, thank you. Thank you very much for giving Unified U.S. Deported Veterans Resource Center, Sergeant Barrios, Chapter 182, the opportunity to be here with Vets for Peace at the convention. And like Hector said, thank you to everybody at Vets for Peace. There's so many friends from Vets for Peace that we have met, that have come across that border, that we have met at some of the functions like SOA Watch. We appreciate your support, and we hope that when this COVID thing is over, that we can host you and welcome you here in Tijuana one day soon. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for all the support that you give us. We need you every day. Thank you. And we're praying that everybody stays safe and healthy. Thank you.